Real misty, real cloudy. Yeah.
They're over on the other side.
Oh, that's right.
Hi everyone, welcome back. Sam Poland and joined along with Nick Connick here for the second half of Bethel Park's first game here. Now Nick, 41-0 at halftime. The first 3 touchdowns scored by Avery Dibble, 2 punt returns and 1 interception return. Give me your 3 keys. What does Bethel need to do in order to maintain this lead here?
I think right now, with the lead they have, they just gotta play it out, keep playing their game, stick to the fundamentals, just work on the basics, and make sure that everything's set and good to go for next week.
Okay.
I think the special teams can keep the job they're doing, then that would be pretty impressive, and I'd like to see a couple more touchdowns from the offense.
So offensive touchdowns, keep the special teams rolling, and just finish out. Is that basically it?
Sounds good to me.
I would agree with all 3 of those. Now, the special teams, as you said, has played a huge role today. They have had 1 blocked punt touchdown. They have had 2 punt return touchdowns, and other than that, the rest have been offensive. I mean, the first 3 touchdowns of the year, 3 of the first 4 touchdowns of the year have come on special teams. That is definitely something that the special teams coordinator should be pleased with. Do you expect Cam Hay to start the second half, or do you expect Coach Matheny to release some of his other players on the field for some game experience?
I wouldn't be surprised if other players got a chance. You know, it's always nice to see kids that we usually get a lot of time, get in there, get a little experience, and you know, it helps build the team for the future.
Now, what do you think Plum's thinking coming into the second half?
If I was Plum, I'd just try limit the damage, maybe try to get something going on offense, try to put a good drive together, and try to score on this Bethel defense.
Yes, Plum did score the WPIAL second fewest 50 total points of last year on offense, and tonight isn't looking like anything new. Now, keep in mind, Plum has also only had 2 first downs and has yet to cross midfield. They've crossed it once, but that play was called back on a penalty. So they definitely need to get something going. But looking at it from the Bethel Park defensive coordinator standpoint, Coach Englund has to be happy with what he's seen so far.
Oh, definitely. I mean, they've been playing a good game, really swarming to the ball. They're creating a lot of turnovers, and definitely looking impressive right now.
Yep. All right, Sam Poland, Nick Connick, thank you so much for tuning in. Be sure to watch the second half, folks. I'll see you then.
Hey, you ready?
Of course I am.
What are you waiting for? I was waiting for you. So we're gonna continue the puppy thing real quick.
Okay, places everyone. In a minute! Do I have to do everything myself?
You can't do it all by yourself.
I'd say that...
Sure I can.
No, he can't. And neither can I. So why don't you come on down to BPTV and help us make some of the great community programs you see on this station every day.
Yeah.
I mean, we can help you make your TV show ideas a reality.
It's pretty awesome.
So come on down. I mean, I am pretty good, but I'm sure I could use your help.
And here we go, Plum's first kickoff of the night. He sends it. Deontay Pryor on the return, and he cuts it way back up the middle, and he busts his way out to the 27-yard line after fielding it from the 3. A nice solid return for the sophomore. Park coming out. Cam Hay still under center for the Hawks. And the toss. To Zach Schmidt. Zach Schmidt bounces around the end, and he's hustling down the sideline. He has his guy beat. One more man, and he is tripped up. He is tripped up. Makes his way down to the Plum 21-yard line. Wow, what a play to start out the second half. It seems as though Bethel Park's offense has not slowed down one bit, even with the second team in.
Looks like a player's down on the field there, Sam.
No, it looks like number 12, Jay Mater. He has been a big part tonight. A
Key component for Plum.
key component. He's a receiver defensive back, and he has done a lot of returning tonight for the Mustangs. We've said his name quite a bit as far as Plum Mustang standpoint.
Yeah, we have, and it would really be difficult for Plum if he couldn't return here in this game.
He is down, and it makes me think that it's a little more than just having the wind knocked out of him. Looks like he's having some cramps as well.
But he's getting up now, so
And
he will take a trip over to the
not putting
sideline.
much pressure on his left leg. Now talk about those offensive woes for Plum the past 2 years and this year. This would be one of the last things that they'd like to see is after having their top 3 scorers last year come out, have one key player like him done for the season. That just wouldn't spell much of a good recipe for Plum. So Cam Hay back under center, Zach Schmidt in the backfield. And the counter is to Zach Schmidt, and he takes it maybe a yard.
Sam, you can't say anything against the perseverance of these Plum kids. I mean, these kids are still coming out here, and they're still trying to put on a good show for these fans and trying to represent their school well. So I commend that.
Plum actually has a very good amount of fans come out tonight. Some bare spots, but there's a lot of fans, considering the reputation that they have last year and considering how they're playing tonight. And they give us to Schmidt, and he bounces around the end and is brought down, but not before he reaches a first down. Zach Schmidt there has had just about 50, 60 yards rushing here in the second half so far, and we're only 9 minutes, we're only 3 minutes in.
Tonight definitely has been a good offensive night for Bethel, Sam.
It has.
Contrary to their preseason game, which didn't go too well for the Hawks.
In case those of you didn't hear much about their preseason this year, the Hawks were actually held scoreless against Pine Richland. Give Pine Richland credit, they're not known well for their defense, but they do return 9 starters this year to the defensive front. So to hold Bethel Park scoreless, that should definitely be a big momentum builder for the Rams this year.
It should. I'm expecting good things out of them. But this has been a good sort of coming out party for the Bethel Park offense here, showing the league what they can do.
Now keep in mind, Bethel Park the past 4 years has done this. Back in 2009, they beat Kiski 37-20 at Kiski. They beat Kiski the next year 41-17 at home. They go back to Kiski last year, went 42-12, and they put up 41 points in the first half tonight. Something that the Bethel Park fans have definitely been used to. Definitely something the fans are used to in the first couple games of the season. And Zach Schmidt has stood up. That was a 2nd and 24 for the Hawks. Jacob DeFulio in on the tackle for the Mustangs. Jared Rutherford has checked into the game. The players on the team call him 5-0. He moved from Hawaii before last year's season. Give it to Schmidt. He gains about 1 or 2 yards on the play. Now Jared Rutherford, there's a player, a bit undersized, but he's very experienced at the receiver position. Definitely a second string kid if Bethel ever needs one. He shows a lot of hustle, a lot of poise, a lot of composure, and just a lot of maturity, especially for someone his age. Definitely a senior leader on the Hawks this year. Ken Gilmore into the game, number 17, the first-year player. He is also a tall kid. Plays basketball, very good, and a fade is thrown up to Gilmore, and it is intercepted by Plum. Pass intended for Ken Gilmore was intercepted, and that will bring the ball back out to the 20-yard line for Plum to start. That is Cam Hayes' second interception of the night. Definitely not how he intended on starting out this season. But keep in mind, it is a team game, not individual. And as of right now, the team is up 41-0. Some late confusion. Plum is getting ready, and the give is the other way. And a big hit between him and Sean Seavey, but Sean Seavey wins that battle. A gain of about 8. About a 2nd and 6 for the Hawks. Not much of anything going on that play. Number 31, Zach Enoch, checking out of the game for the Hawks. Sean Seavey in as the free safety for the Hawks. And it is a pass. He rolls out, decides to keep it himself. He jukes inside, and it'll be close. He was stood up by number 21, Gary Gerst. It'll be close, but they mark it as a 4th down, just shy of the 30-yard line. Official marking at the 29-yard line, 4th and 1. Now, from a Plum standpoint, if they fail to convert this, I don't know how much of the momentum they will be able to carry for the rest of the game. And they get it, and they get it by about 3 yards. Plunges it out. That's about a 6-yard gain to the 35. And it seems as though they're building some great momentum. They've only gone 15 yards, but in that 15 yards, they've gathered some momentum. Maryland I. And the toss around the left side. He's brought down by Alex Minton. For a sophomore, we have said his name quite a bit tonight, Nick.
Second down and 11 ball. Just short of the 35-yard line.
little bit of movement down in the defense front. But Deloach rolls out. He's being pursued, and he is met up by Gary Gerst. Back at the line of scrimmage, maybe a little bit more. The passing game for Plum has not gone very well at all tonight, Nick.
Really hasn't.
That's only about their third incompletion. Third down and 7 for the Hawks upcoming. And Deloach rolls out to the sideline, and he fires one down the field. It is caught by number 25, Jeff Ruffing, the 11th grader, 5'11", 180 pounds. That has been the biggest play for the Mustangs tonight. They come out, trips to the right, and the toss around the right side. 3-yard gain on the play. Park cheerleaders always getting into the game. Back in the shotgun, trips to the left. He rolls to the left, finds some time, fires, sails his intended target, number 5, Tevin Odom. So that'll bring up a third down in about 6 or 7 or so. And as time is running down, there's 4 seconds left here in the third half. And you can call that 3 done. Time runs out here in the third quarter. Bethel Park not managing to get any points on the board, but neither has Plum. We'll come back for the fourth quarter. I'll see you then, folks. Marching band with their wide array of music. Now they're playing Lady Gaga's Bad Romance. Bethet's always getting into it. Fans of Bethel Park really love their marching band, hence why it's called the Pride of Bethel Park. big thanks to all the marching band, all their family who showed up today, and to all the directors, Mr. Petrossi, Mrs. Georges, and all the chaperones. 3rd and 6 here from the 31. Motion, trips left. Deloach rolls out, fires a pass. Oh! Big hit by Gary Gerst to force the incompletion. Had number 35. Had number 35, Zach Martin, been able to hold on to it, he might have gotten the first down, if not pretty close to it. But Gary Gerst with a nice heads-up play to wrap his arms and drive him to the ground. Some other Quad A Great Southern action. USC taking on Woodland Hills tonight, definitely the toughest schedule the Great Southern Conference has to open up the season with. Try to get you an update on that a little bit. And Deloach rolls one way, rolls back out to the other. He's being pursued, and he cuts it back to the inside and down to the 10-yard line. This has been quite a drive the Mustangs have engineered here. They started out at their own 20, and they've been able to muster their way 70 yards down to the 10.
Doesn't even have to be said, but by far their best drive of the night, Sam.
Yes, Nick, it has. Number 22, Keontae Pryor, is checking into the game as a cornerback. Sean Seavey still in a corner. Jonathan Scarcella also in there, a dog pile.
Carrying the ball up the middle, the quarterback, number 9.
John Scarcella involved in some extracurricular activity after the play. That's something that I feel has the potential to hurt Bethel this season, is the extracurricular activity, you know, trying to get the ball loose, a little bit of pushing and shoving. I feel as though that may hurt the Hawks this season. Or at least it has the potential to. Corner's playing about 5 deep, and the give, and Mustangs in for the touchdown. First touchdown of the season coming with 9:23 left here in the 4th quarter. And the Plum faithful are on their feet, and it is a party over in the student section.
And the touchdown, number 28, Nate Turchek.
That touchdown, looking over the replay, was number 28. Wow. How about that tonight, Nick? How about that view?
Sure is beautiful up there, Sam.
Oh, the way for a touchdown. Bethel Park, 100 yards on the return for the sophomore. Playing in his first game on the varsity team. He takes one back all the way. 100 yards for the score. And Nick, that has to be an absolute buzzkill for the Plum Mustangs.
Definitely, but for a kid in his sophomore year to do that in your first game sure is special, Sam.
And here we go, Danny Christensen with the extra point makes it 48-7. And the kickoff fielded by Major at about the 4-yard line. Returned, and he has stood up. A new set of players in here right now. Max Mikulski in at the free safety, John Scarcella and Jake Greiner in at the corners. Coming out again, about a 2nd and 6 here. The toss to the left side. He bounces it inside, cuts it back outside, gets around the corner. It looks like he could go all the way, and he will. He will score. Number 26, Bryce Carter for Bethel Park, couldn't trip him up, and he goes 77 yards for the second score in this quarter for the Mustangs. Inside, outside, inside, outside. Next thing you know, 77 yards later, he's in for the score. And that extra point is up, and that is good. So that'll make the score Bethel Park 48, Plum 14. So Nick, this second half has really been, it seems as though Plum has taken over the momentum, but not the score. So what do you, as a Bethel Park coach, are you still pleased with the performance overall in the second half here?
I'm pleased with what the team's done so far. I mean, right now you got kids in their first ever high school game that are just trying to get out there and get some game experience. I mean, when you haven't played in a game, you don't know what the speed's like, and that's what they're trying to get adjusted to now. It's a learning experience now, Sim. So it's good to see some other kids getting time, and it'll definitely be a good learning experience for Bethel, and as long as they can hold on to this one, I think everything will be fine.
Yeah, talking about new kids in their first game. Alex Minton starting at linebacker, back to return now, along with Keontae Pryor. And then in the second line, we have number 31, Zach Enoch, and number 21, Gary Gerst, two other starters. Yeah, a lot of fresh legs here on the second line. You got Ryan Petrossi up front, number 16, Jake Lewis up front, Sean Seavey, Sean Raymond. Now, Sean Raymond, that is one kid I would like to touch on just a little bit. He has been playing football since his 4th grade season. A little bit undersized, not nearly, you know, definitely not like a first string guy, but man, this kid has a lot of heart, Nick. This kid, he has not missed a practice so far, from what I remember. He comes here, he gives his all. Little undersized, but you know what? I've never seen a kid with a bigger amount of heart than Sean Raymond. Definitely a senior leader, along with many others. Definitely a man among the boys.
Those are the kids that coaches love, saying they come to practice every day, they're pushing the starters, and they just make the team better all around. And the kids that can do that, you love to have them on your team.
And from what I've heard, he is also a very humble kid on the team. Like you said, definitely someone coaches love to be around, definitely someone the players love to be around. Overall, just a great team player, great overall attitude, great overall football player. I can remember my brother coming home last year from football practice just talking about Sean Raymond, talking about how positive an influence he is around this group of guys, talking about how hard of a worker he is and how he just refuses to give up. Sean Seavey now in a quarterback for the Hawks, and that give was to number 38, Ryan Applegarth, the sophomore. And he gets maybe a yard at the most. So that'll bring up a 3rd and 8 here. Time winding down. We're down to 5:45 here left in the game. And Plum has put in a new quarterback. Number 11, the sophomore, Will Fuhrer. And the toss is to Keontae Pryor. And he cuts inside, outside. He continues going back outside. Jukes out Corey DeLoach, and he is down the sideline. No one is going to catch him. Keontae Pryor, his 2nd touchdown of the night. First game, 2 touchdowns. A 100-yard punt return and about a 70-yard scamper around the end for the touchdown. I'll tell you what, he is definitely going to be a player to watch over the rest of this year and the next 2 years to come, Nick. With what he has done tonight, expect to hear more about him the rest of the season.
Definitely. It definitely makes the future of Bethel Park football look promising.
54-14, as you can see on your screen there, folks. 5:14 left in the fourth quarter. And Danny Christensen adds on his extra point to make it 55-14. So no matter what Plum seems to do, Bethel Park always has, for every action, Bethel Park has an equal and opposite reaction. Here we are, the 9th kickoff of the night for Bethel Park. Plum has 2 new returners in there. Number 30, Zach Kuhn, and number 24,
Squib kick here.
Number 24, Nick Rom. Talk about 2 new guys, trying to get them some experience. A sophomore and a junior back to return. At this point of the game, Nick, you really don't expect to see too many starters in there.
No. You want to prevent against injuries, make sure your guys stay healthy for the games coming up in the next couple weeks.
Yep. Next week, Bethel Park takes on Mount Lebanon at Blackhawk Stadium. That should be a good game.
That should. That game always has a backyard brawl type feel to it when those 2 schools meet.
They love to hate each other, Nick. They love to hate each other.
34.
And folks, just so you know, because of the score, Bethel Park got 55-14, the referees have indicated that the clock will continue to run even after an incompletion, out of bounds, whatever. When regular clock stops, the clock will continue to run. The clock down to 4:10 now, left in the game. Be sure to tune in after the game for the post-game show, Nick Connick and Sam Poland. Just a recap of the game, and we'll look forward to next week's game. That give around the end. And that'll be a first down. The ball spotted at about the 45-yard line. About to cross midfield for the second time tonight, Nick. Now, Nick, you had to pick a Bethel star of the game tonight. Who do you be?
Definitely Dibble. Scoring the first 3 touchdowns of the game. Just outstanding performance for the time he was in tonight, Sam.
Luke Giansani and Bryce Donardo checking into the game for the Hawks, number 14, taking out Jake Greiner and Keontae Pryor. In at both the corners. And rolls out. And he is brought down, slammed to the turf by number 15, Jake Murphy. And Nick, despite the score, Plum's fans have still remained here for the duration of the game. I have not seen a fluctuation at all in the amount of fans. And he cuts inside, cuts back outside. He could have broken it, but he was stopped by number 29, Max Mikulski. Stepped up, took him down, saved what could have been another 6 points. They're bringing up a 3rd down and what looks to be about 6 yards to go.
Just about a minute remaining in the game.
1 minute left in the game here, folks.
3rd and 6, ball for 49 for the next one.
Trips out to the right. He rolls out to the right. He stops and has to juke, and he is sacked by Jake Murphy in his 2nd career varsity tackle. Since coming into the game about 5 minutes ago, Nick, Jake Murphy has been all over the ball. 10 seconds remaining now as the teams start to file in to the middle of the field. That'll do it for this game, folks. My brother would say, stick a fork in it. This one's over. Final score, Bethel Park 55, Plum 14. Very impressive game in all aspects of football for Bethel Park tonight. Offense, defense, special teams. It just all came together, seemed to click, seemed to mesh, and that is why the scoreboard shows as it does tonight, Nick.
Definitely, Sam. It was a great play game by Bethel Park. You had a couple kids have breakout performances tonight. Dibble, Pryor just played great games.
And Nick, you can't help to wonder how the score in the game would have turned out had Bethel limited the mistakes, you know, the interceptions, the fumbles. It could have limited, as you can see, 55-14. Not too many mistakes, but had Bethel Park not committed, you know, the fumble at the very beginning on the goal line, the 2 interceptions by Cam Hay, you know, the failed 4th down conversions. If they hadn't made those mistakes, I can't help but wonder what the scoreboard would look like right now.
Well, Sam, it is still the first game of the season. I mean, we've got a long season left, and they'll have practices, tons of practices to work on that kind of stuff and kind of fine-tune it to be ready for the bigger games down the road.
I would definitely agree that this game is definitely a measurement of where Bethel Park is and where they need to be for next week, their first Great Southern Conference game against Mount Lebanon, as I stated, at Bethel Park on September 9th. September 8th, I'm sorry. And as Matheny, as you can see, Matheny looks very happy with his team. And his players look very happy, all smiles all around. Coaches, staff, cheerleaders, band members, and fans all around us here. Very pleased overall with the effort tonight from the Hawks.
And Plum, you can only hope for them that they have a better season than last year. Give their fans something to be proud of, you know?
Well, with their effort here in the second half, I mean, that should give their fans some hope. They have a sliver of hope going into the season, show that their players don't give up, because Plum came out firing on all cylinders here in the second half. Now, it didn't merit the award that they had hoped, but still better than the way they played in the first half.
And as the fans start to file out here, Coach Matheny still giving his players something to think about on the long bus ride home.
Yes, and Lord knows that will be a long bus ride.
Have a safe trip home, guys.
Well, the fans were definitely given all their money's worth tonight, Nick. Fans were definitely, all the miles they drove and the time they took to come out here, definitely worth their while, wouldn't you say?
It was, Sam, and you always like that when, and I think the team feels that they know they want to play good when they see that they've had a good number of fans who made the drive to come out and support them, and when you see the people in the stands, it kind of gives you an extra bit of oomph to try and play your best.
Now, Bethel Park and Plum haven't met up for a while, let alone in Plum. So Coach Matheny during this week, not too sure how the fans would contribute, how the atmosphere would play into it, but you know, it's definitely good to know that they can come into an environment like this and come out, play the way they did, come out with a win. Just, you know, gives them hope down the season when they play at Woodland Hills, at Peters Township, at Baldwin. You know, it's good to know that they can come into an environment and play like this. Because Lord knows those next 3 road games, those are going to be tough. I feel as though those are going to be very tough games to pull out a win with.
They will be, Sam. It should be a difficult season for the Hawks. They definitely don't have the easiest schedule to deal with, but I feel if they can keep up what they've done tonight, that they'll have a good chance to play some good football this season and give all of Bethel something to cheer for.
I agree with it. I would agree.
And as the team walks off the field, we'll sign off. I'm Nick Connick for me and Sam Pullen. Have a good night.
Illegal is illegal, and that's what we have to take care of at the border. Why don't they put blimps up? I think one of the issues is flying airplanes is going to cost money. So I'd throw out, put a blimp up there, run blimps from both sides of the fence line, and they run probably at a...
How can Mr. Bolt have it so wrong? That is one of the worst ideas I have ever heard. Wait, what's this story? Military surveillance blimps tested at the Texas-Mexico border? Bolt had it right all along. Oh man, never gonna hear the end of this one.
Good morning, this is Mr. Bold calling for Mr. Dave Cable. Back in 2006, Mr. Bold was on Bethel Park right now, and if Mr. Bold recalls correctly, he was poo-pooed by Mr. Dave Cable back in 2006 for really being a wacko when it comes to suggesting blimps along the border. I told you back then that I hoped that I never saw anything official using the word blimp. Well, much to my enjoyment, the word blimp has been used in an official article when they talk about patrolling the borders. It's unfortunate that Bethel Park doesn't have any billboards because Mr. Bull would be looking for some type of public apology from Mr. Dave Cable regarding his poo-pooing of the suggestion of using blimps to patrol the borders. I await your call. Thank you.
I deserve that.
Hey, you ready?
Of course I am.
What are you waiting for? I was waiting for you.
So we're gonna continue the puppy thing real quick.
Okay, places everyone. In a minute! Do I have to do everything myself?
You can't do it all by yourself.
I have to say that...
Sure I can.
No, he can't. And neither can I. So why don't you come on down to BPTV and help us make some of the great community programs you see on this station every day.
Yeah!
I mean, we can help you make your TV show ideas a reality.
It's pretty awesome.
So come on down. I mean, I am pretty good. But I'm sure I could use your help.
The American Legion, we're a powerful force for the nation. We work relentlessly within our 4 pillars of service, and we succeed. Go to legion.org to find out more about the American Legion's commitment of service to America.